Ben,
Yes.
been playing much over the 2 months that we've been moving in?
Well, okay, so I have been playing
Had any spare time?
a few things.
Okay,
we can start with we've been playing. You tested it as well. We played the new Mario Party game.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I've been playing Mario Party Jamboree.
Losing is still winning as usual.
Losing is still winning. In good old Mario Party senses. When you're at the bottom, you can always reach the top.
Can always bring it back, even when you do absolutely nothing.
I feel like the chaos in this Mario Party is so... It reminds me of like the really old Mario Party games where it was like completely like just chaotic. But that was like the fun of Mario. In my eyes, that's always been like the fun of Mario Party. I've always been like, it's fun to watch people rage and stuff, depending on who they are.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, like, you know, when we all played, like,
fuck over your friends and laugh at them as they rage.
It feels a bit like, but like,
laugh at them as they lose 2 of their stars in one
I will say
swoop.
there is a skills to this one though. Like, it is not pure luck this time. There is certain, like, luck does play a part in it, but if you know how to like use the items and how to like use things to your advantage, you can definitely like overcome the luck-based stuff.
I don't really have a basis on like other Mario Party games, so I've not played a lot of Mario Party besides like the one on the Switch.
Didn't you?
Yeah, I played Superstars. I played this game. I played like Mario Party 5 on the GameCube, like way back when, for like 30 minutes, and that was it. But I'm not crazy massive with Mario Party.
Yeah.
But yeah, even I can tell, like, you know, item usage, I feel, and knowing when to use items is kind of feels more important in this century than it does other ones. The Jamboree mechanic's pretty evil though.
Oh
where
my
you get
god.
double of each.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can like nick people, you can steal people's friends is like a super evil mechanic as well in true Mario Party fashion.
Yeah, that's something that's been kind of missing from like Mario Party, was the whole like it's too friendly, the newer entries, and this one brings back that kind of like not so friendly anymore kind of vibe. Yeah,
it brings back the whole, you get an opportunity to really dick someone over and be really evil if you want to.
Yeah, because
like you could approach a star with like a Jamboree. Is it called a Jamboree?
Yeah, Jamboree buddy, yeah.
And then someone can literally pass you, steal your Jamboree, get to the star, and then take 2 stars for themselves, because you get double the amount of a Jamboree.
And you can buy double items, and you can steal from Boo 2 times if you hold a Jamboree buddy. Like, everything is doubled.
Fuck the booze.
Yeah.
And fuck those fucking invisible golden bricks as well.
Yeah, golden bricks, yeah.
Who was it? Your partner was in front with like 3 stars, and she got like 2 of those gold bricks had stars in it. It's like, well, even when we lose, we're not gonna win, are we?
Oh, she took the 2. She had the Jamboree buddy, didn't she? And then she went and got 2 stars and stuff. Yeah, it's quite evil.
An invisible block.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Mario Party is a very evil game. The mini games are really good in this one, though. I actually really enjoy them. I think they are top class mini games. Like,
yeah, pretty fun.
They're pretty fun, these ones. I found it funny how when we were playing though, we got so many 1v3s.
Oh my god, yeah, we did. Yeah, someone kept landing on a red square, and it was just, inevitably we were gonna face off against Dogpalm one person. It was pretty funny. I like I actually like the Jamboree mini games as well, where you have to fight over an ally. Yeah, because they're big, long mini games.
Yeah, they're big, long mini games. Yeah,
like there was one which reminded me a lot of like Trivia Murder Party from Jackbox. Funny enough.
Oh yeah.
There's a Yoshi race, and then there's also like a 2-minute long pinball mini game for Waluigi, which I thought was pretty nice.
There's a few. There's not as many as I would like, but like I like the idea of this mechanic, and I hope it expands in like the next Mario Party, because I actually think it's quite cool, the character showdown stuff. I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Yeah, I like the boards as well. Good, it's got some good variety. The boards are actually bigger this time. They don't feel tiny like in the other Mario Party. So
yeah, the one we played on, it felt like you can move about the board a lot more easily compared to others.
Yeah,
like it felt like a big square. more like a big giant, like long, like a detour around like an Uncharted area, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
like
there's more pathways.
Closer together.
There's more split paths as well. So boards were a lot better this time around.
Yeah, navigation seems pretty better.
It is actually a really solid Mario Party. And the other modes, you didn't play them, but they're actually quite good. I quite like the Decathlon. It's quite fun as well. Like where you compete against, like, it's a bit like you play mini games and then like you compete against like 20 people online sort of thing. And it's a bit like Fall Guys, kind of, in that way.
Okay. Nice.
But yeah, not quite. The Bowser minigame's a bit like Fall Guys, but the only thing I don't like about Mario Party is that they segment the motion control games and the normal games. So if you play with motion controls, you get all the games. But if you play with just normal controls, you just get like it takes away the motion control games. So it's there should have been specific mini games. There should have been a way to like have all the games, but you don't have to have motion controls to. So it's still kind of not perfect in the sense that like it's cool that they let you do it without motion control, but they don't let you play the motion control games without motion controls. They lock those games off if you're playing.
I get you.
And that's like a good 20 games. So like it locks out like some of the mini games, and I don't know. I feel like that makes it feel smaller.
Yeah. I mean, they're very innovative, aren't they, Nintendo, with their like motion-based controls. So I guess I could find a way to implement it into like normal control stuff.
Like some of the motion control games, I feel like are pretty easy to like to add a button to. Like the one game, it's quite funny though. There's this one game where you don't have a pickaxe and you have to swing it, but it looks like you're basically doing a different motion when you're swinging the pickaxe. Really, really fast to get through like this little cave. But easily you could have changed that to just pressing AAA really, really quickly, So
feels like a Nintendo move, to be honest.
Yeah, that'd be the way. So yeah, Mario Party's cool. Another game I've been playing is the new Zelda.
Oh yes, how's that?
Yeah, I like it. It's very different. It's a lot more. It's a lot different to like it's a top-down Zelda, but it does have a good twist on like I do like the way.
Is it based off of the? Is it the remake of Link to the Past?
It's based off of the remake of Link's Awakening. Link's
Awakening, sorry.
Yeah, the art style's great. I love the art style. Okay, in terms of frame rate though, not great. It's a bit all over the place. But
that's on the Switch.
But it
can be forgiven.
Yeah, I like it though. Like, it brings back that like old school like Zelda charm with the dungeons and like going through.
It's going back to old school, like, nice stuff, is it?
But with a good twist on it, because you play as Zelda, and she doesn't like fight with a sword. She has like this copying mechanic where she like mimics. Like you pick up an echo and then you copy it, and you can just place it anywhere. So you basically fight as a commander who controls armies of enemies, and you just send them out like to kill other enemies, kind of thing.
Mickey Mouse with the brooms, kind of like thing.
Yeah. But like the puzzles, I will say like puzzles. If you're not in a dungeon, I will say there is kind of a flaw to this game. If you're not in a dungeon, there are certain things, but I would say there is always a way. There's like multiple ways to solve things, and I do hear the big criticism that you can solve everything. Well, not everything, but you can solve like most things with just a few of the echoes. Like the bed, for example, is like a really good one, because you can just like, once you get like a certain amount of, because later on in the game you expand your usage, like how many echoes you can send out and stuff. Like you build it up, So
as you do. Yeah,
once you do, you can stack
puzzles.
beds on top of each other and make staircases and stuff. So like, and you could do that with more. So the bed is quite powerful, and it can solve a lot of puzzles that like. But I guess that's kind of the fun. The experimentation of the whole thing is like, people won't experiment if they know they can do something a certain way, which I found was one of the bigger problems in the Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom. That was also one of the big problems in that, because once you had a certain way to solve something and you know it works, like you think, oh, it'll work here as well, and you can do the same thing, and eventually like you're just doing the same thing over and over. But there are so many
like
echoes.
in Tears of the Kingdom, right? You find that one like item or the one combination of items that just gets you over chasms and like to where you want to go and stuff.
And then you won't try a different thing. But there are so many items in this game, and like one of the bigger problems as well is because, I don't know, there should have been a better way to do this, but the way that you have to, like, it's a bit like Tears of the Kingdom as well. You know when you're swapping arrows?
Yeah.
That list.
Yeah. You have to pause and then scroll for your arrows and then equip them.
Well, you have to do this with your echoes as well. Like, which, is annoying, because it's like, I've got to pick this one, like, you know what I mean? Like, so you're swapping back and forward. And with 140 echoes, like...
Oh, wow.
It gets a bit...
I suppose it must be hard to think of an innovative way to make you quickly go through all the echoes that you've got in your arsenal, right? I suppose that's the best way to do it.
Yeah.
It can't work for Tears of the Kingdom when you knew where everything was. Can you like sort it as well? Like,
you can sort it into categories. They're not the best categories though. Like, there's ones like most used. You've got most used new echoes, like the ones you recently attained. I swap between new echoes and most used, because like. And then there's like, there was like a few others, but they're not like the best categories, but they do get the job done. But it's just like, it could have been better designed, is what I'm saying, in terms of the list.
Okay, so the game's a little bit like dicey here and there.
A little bit, but I would say it's very fun. Oh my god, and it's kind of mind blowing what kind of lore is hidden in this game as well. For the Zelda lore. A lot of people probably like already talked about it, but like there's some, surprisingly there's a lot of deep there's a deep lore in this one, which is funny for Zelda.
The quote-unquote housewife gamer has a shitload of lore. I love it.
It is good. It adds a lot of like lore to the Zelda mythos and stuff. But it's fun. Like the side quests aren't like amazing either. They're just like but they do have the side quests. The act of the side quest ain't that great, but the actual like payoff, you get like scenes and stuff in some of them and characters interacting, so they're not bad. Like they're a bit like but they expand the world and stuff, but like they're not great acts to do. They're just kind of like, you complete them anyway, because you kind of, if you're trying to get the echoes anyway, most of the side quests boil down to, I saw this like creature in the woods, like it looked like it describes it, and you're like, oh, it's that echo, and then they want to see that echo, so it's kind of like that. So you kind of get them anyway, sort of thing, like as you go through. You don't have to do a lot. There are a few where it's like, the rewards you get for them are pretty cool though. You get like, you can dress up Zelda in like different costumes and stuff, which is cool.
Oh, that's cool. Costume changes. That's nice.
You get like little costume changes. Some of them have abilities as well. They have perks like
Super Princess Peach. Yeah,
some of them have like perks and stuff. And there's like, I do like how the echoes are cool though, because in dungeons it works. The echoes work best in dungeons, because in dungeons you can't just rely on using, some of them you can, but some of them like you need specific echoes that you get in that dungeon, and it brings back that like, it's kind of like getting a new item kind of thing, like when you get an item in a dungeon and then you use it in that dungeon to solve puzzles. Kind of like, they bring back that vibe, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like,
oh, okay, a bit of retro Zelda dungeon crawling.
Yeah.
Nice.
I really like the whole, like, I don't know, dungeons being more than just what they become in the 3D. I hope they can kind of find a way to...
Yeah, because they did dungeons in the old 2D Zelda games, so is it more of that vein then?
But in even the 3D dungeons, like... No, I'm not talking about, like... Because, like... Twilight Princess, they were great dungeons, right? You remember those dungeons? Yeah, I want that again. So it's like, in the bring back those kind of dungeons in the...
Love that shit.
In the 3D. Because I feel like Tears of the Kingdom almost got it right, but it involved, I don't know, like the dungeons in Tears of the Kingdom just... The idea of, they all had that, like, you know,
to be fair, there wasn't really when you say Tears of the Kingdom dungeons, I struggle to think of dungeons because it's not really like a dungeon quote-unquote based game. Even with the shrines, it doesn't really feel like dungeons. They feel like more like trials, right?
Yeah, no, but you know, like, the dungeons were like the sky, like that thing that you fly to, and then it's like find the 5 switches like inside
it had that focus on certain abilities, didn't it? But then you could also just get a fan and attach some rockets to it and just shoot up, and it's like, this is like a bread and butter I can use for every dungeon.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like Zelda's kind of in this place right now where it's a bit like this whole do it your own way kind of thing. I kind of miss the whole there's only one solution to solving this.
Yeah. I mean, there are a couple ways of doing it, as has been proven from the other 3D Zelda games, right? So
mobility.
I think people are definitely Breath of the Wild out, because not only was Breath of the Wild kind of like that, but also like the fact they got a sequel to it. And it still has that same, well, kind of like similar amount of like dungeon gameplay where it's like, you know, do your own thing yourself and do it like that. I mean, if it's wanting to make people want that like 3D Zelda dungeon traversal back, then it's doing a good job.
Yeah,
maybe it's just their big plan all along.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the 2D Zelda stuff is pretty good though. I guess the only thing, I mean, for the next Zelda, because like this is like the biggest Hyrule, but for a 2D game, for a 2D Zelda, this is the biggest Hyrule that they've ever done.
Cool.
For a 2D one.
Awesome.
But for the next Zelda, I really hope it's not set in Hyrule, because Hyrule's getting stale. Like, you know, like it's been Hyrule's just been around too long now.
You want a brand new land, do you?
Or want something change, like something massively change. But I will say, the other cool thing, I like like the mobility in this, the way you can do things with the echoes. Like, they're all quite unique in terms of like what they can do. Like, there are a lot of, like, you can watch some stuff online, but people's mobility with Zelda in this is kind of insane.
Of course, there's tech.
Yeah, there's tech, so the echoes if you know how to do it. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. But yeah, no, good fun. It's fun. It's got mini games as well, which is pretty fun as well. The mini games are pretty fun.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, overall, it's like a solid 7.5, 8 out of 10. Like, it's a good game. It's a good game.
Solid. No, solid score. Not bad. A few faults, but solid game overall. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice, sweet.
What about you? What have you been playing?
So, as you know, Atlus have been on a bit of a roll this year.
Yeah.
And you got your Persona 3 Reload, your ST5 Vengeances, your Unicorn Overlords. They have also released a brand new IP, which I have played, and it is Metaphor ReFantazio. The demo. I've not played the game, I've only played the demo. Yeah. And holy shit, Ben, this demo is like a 10-hour long demo.
Oh, Jesus.
It's the length of many games, and it's free.
Oh, Jesus. That's a
I advise you to check out at some point, because Okay, so what do I talk about first? Okay, so let's talk about the overall setting of the game. So it is a medieval fantasy anime-esque game, right?
I've seen the trailers.
Basically, the king of the place has been killed by totally not Lucifer, or totally not the guy who's inspired on Lucifer, even though his name is literally Louis, and he's got fucking long blonde hair, long blonde Griffith hair, and has horns as well, so he's definitely not a Lucifer archetype. Nope, no. There's no way Atlus would pay homage to SMT in the SMT Persona game. Definitely not. Sorry. And you play as so basically the game has got like a bunch of like races, medieval races. So you got your high elves, you've got like your beastmen and what have you. You play as a race called I think they're called Elfins. I think they're called. There's like 9 different like races in the game, and everyone is horribly fucking racist to you. There is. Oh, wow. Oppression, and there is political stuff in this game. There is absolutely political commentary.
Do you know what? There's political stuff in Persona as well, where people kind of like,
Yeah, but this one is very like on the nose with it, like even more on the nose than like Persona stuff, right?
Yeah.
And even more so than the religious themes in SMT too. This one's about pure racism, dude.
Yeah.
And so you play as the oppressed, the most oppressed race, where like you will basically be like walking around in the streets, and NPCs will be openly sneering at you.
Oh man.
It won't be like they'll be talking about their own like problems and shit.
Yeah.
But sometimes an NPC's like, "Hey, how's it going?" They'll be like, "Oh, are you an elfin? Get the fuck out of my face."
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. And they're really hammering it in. Like it gets to a point now where you will do like a side quest, and like a priest will be like, "Oh, I'm selling this like miracle potion. Do you want it? Wait, hang on a minute. Are you an elfin?" And you'll be like, "Yeah," and he'll be like, "Okay. Because you're this really hated race, I will give you this potion for 300,000 money."
Oh,
and you're like, that's too much. And he's like, "Dude, I shouldn't even be speaking to you. Like, I'm doing you a favor here."
Oh my god.
Like, you're like that. It's that kind of like, oh shit, like I'm part of a really hated race.
That's funny.
It's funny as well because when you go to like the bit where you have to put your name down, you actually put 2 separate names. You put your name for your main character, but you also put your name for the reader.
Oh.
So it's presented to you like a book, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the game goes, "Yo, you who is reading this book called ReFantazio, what is your name?"
Oh, okay. So you.
And then it goes. And then it says what is the name of your MC. Okay. So you and the MC are actually separate characters, which is kind of an interesting thing.
Yeah.
So the way it goes is that the king has died, and now there is this big like vacuum of power, and this big like face is basically putting people through these like trials, and it's like, okay, so someone's got to be the new king, right?
Yeah.
And already the dude who totally isn't Lucifer is long in the running for being king. So it's like, oh no, this guy's clearly an arsehole. And we don't want him to be king. And basically, it's a big old arms race for like who's gonna be the next king of the land, pretty much.
Yeah.
And the visuals are incredible for it. Like that segment when like there's a big old face in the sky. Underneath a big floating castle that sort of like dictates who are the nominees for who's going to be the most valid to be king, and basically you have to rally the people of the land.
Yeah.
And there's a big statue that mutates as you get like more. I assume because I've only played like the early parts of the game, but like basically the faces on these rocks are like the big nominees for who's going to be the next king, and they change and get bigger and bigger depending on like how much of like the favor of the people they've got.
Oh.
And I imagine later on your character starts doing that despite what race you are. So the pressure's on for your character, so you don't want to be ruled by a tyrant. And
sounds cool.
I mean, it popped off in narrative because it won Best Narrative in Game Awards. So I imagine that it goes pretty hard.
By the sounds of it,
Yeah. So that is your story hook for the game. The gameplay. Oh my god!
Yeah,
so it's exactly what's been advertised as. It is a blend of Shin Megami Tensei and Persona mechanics.
Yeah.
So it's press turn.
Yeah.
So it's press turn from SMT3 all the way, and from SMT5 as well. If people have played that game, where you have turns. And if you hit enemy's weakness, instead of losing that turn, you lose half a turn.
Yeah.
So it's not one more. It's you keep on going, swap between party members. Party members get weaknesses. Your party can attack more with the press turn weaknesses. However, if you if your attacks get absorbed or shielded, you lose turns. Which is like the press turn system from SMT straight up, which I'm very happy about, because one more is okay, but I always found the one more system a bit more repetitive than the press turn system. Press turn, I feel like, has a way more variety to it, so I find it a better mechanic. So I'm glad they implemented that to ReFantazio. But yeah, so then of course the same applies to the enemies as well. Now, the big thing that differentiates this from Persona and SMT is that this has a class system. And the class system is like your quote-unquote Persona. But you transform into the Persona. So you go in there, say for example, your main character is like a mage. So you'll go in as a mage, you'll be wielding a wand. And then when you use your, I can't remember what they're called now. It's been 2 months since I played the demo for this game, because I've been so behind and moving around and stuff. But basically, you transform into your class. You become like the persona that personifies the class. So like you will become the mage. You'll transform into the mage where you do like a spell pretty much. So in Persona 5 where you press the persona button, you summon your persona for your persona skills. You do the same for your class skills, but you transform into the persona. It's like that.
A bit like with like, this sounds like a bit like Xenoblade 3 in a weird way.
Like a turn-based, in a way
of it.
It's turn-based with the same stylistic, the same style presentation of like a Persona SMT game.
Because I saw
it's turn-based, but to get into a fire. So the way this works, right, is that you'll be in the overworld. Speaking of Xenoblade, it will be like Xenoblade. You're walking around an open area or a dungeon or whatever. And you see the enemies on the field. So if enemies are a lower level than you, you straight up kill them and not even get into a fight. And get all the XP and get the rewards from it. If an enemy, however, is the same level as you or higher, then this is how. So basically, this is how you get advantages, pretty much. So instead of just going behind them and like hitting them in the back and then you instantly get it, you have to fight for it.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So you basically have to get into a fight with an enemy in the overworld, and I shit you not, you have a Dark Souls-esque dodge roll to kind of avoid their attack. And what you do here is that for about 3 to 5 seconds, you'll engage in a fight with this enemy in the overworld, and you basically have to like do enough damage to stagger them. And that's how you get your advantage. However, if you get hit even once by an enemy while you're kind of quote-unquote engaged with them, then that's how they get their advantage.
I get it. So it's like,
and of course, it's like easier when you sneak up. It's like a
more advanced version of attack behind them sort of thing.
Pretty much. It's a slightly more in-depth version of that. But the cool thing. Now the cool thing here, Ben, is that you get like a passive for your class when you're in the overworld. And if we go back to the major, if you kill weak enemies on the field, you get MP back. If you kill them as a mage. Whereas if you do it as like, I assume if you get like a thief class, you like steal an item before you get into like a fight and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so you get passes with classes depending on what one you've got equipped on the field, and they have different properties in the overworld. So how you go about with a class on the overworld, I feel like, is also very important to how it applies to real turn-based fights as well.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds interesting.
Which is it's really interesting, and it's also got its own Velvet Room mechanic.
Of course,
but
it does.
The way it works is that. You don't fuse your personas, so the Velvet Room is a skill tree kind of thing.
Oh, okay.
So what it is that you equip a class and you have to spend SP that you get on the field, and that SP dictates which character equips what class.
I see.
And of course, some characters lean to different kind of classes. So, for example, you'll get a guy who leans towards more strength.
Yeah.
So you want to give him more strength-based classes like the warrior and the knight. That's the tank that taunts enemies and soaks up damage and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So you want to focus more on their skill trees that give them more moves. Like you can get a big taunt that attracts enemies. And you can also get like a big melee attacks as well, soak up damage and dish it back out kind of thing. There's like a monk class too. And of course, you want like the more heavily SP based classes for the character dictates towards that. Also, I forgot to mention, your main character, you can invest any stat you want and make your own build of the MC character. It's not a Persona where
set on a route. Yeah, okay.
You already upgrade your HP and SP based on your level. It's like an SMT protagonist where you can actually make a build out of your protagonist. So you can make them into a mage, or you can make them into a warrior.
Oh, cool.
You can make them into a speedy tanker. You can make them into a mage that has got high luck. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
Substats too. So that's the way it works. The protagonist, you go through a build like an SMT game.
Yeah.
And also, you get cool Digital Devil Saga Persona 2-esque team attacks as well, based on what classes you bring into the fight.
That's cool.
So some classes unlock some synergies as well, and then you do these really cool cinematic Persona attacks. I'm sorry, it's bugging me. I really need to know what the name of the Personas are, because it's been a while and I forgot what they're called now.
I think they're called archetypes.
Archetypes, thank you. Yes, archetypes. That's what they're called. Yeah.
Sorry.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Cheers to that. I felt like a fake fan saying Persona all the time.
Yeah.
So you get cool archetype dual-based attacks in the vein. They're like Digital Devil Saga team attacks if you've played that game. So you get that too, which also adds like a layer. But team attacks take up more turns to do. You got your buffs, your debuffs, which are also important, and the setting for it, like the presentation is. Well, I mean, you've seen the presentation, the screenshots in the trailer. You go into that pause, and immediately you are hit by like the Tate Modern, but good.
Yeah,
it's like, holy fucking shit! You get fucking absolutely slapped by this beautiful like painting-esque kind of like main menu.
Looks cool. Looks
and
really stylized.
And the way, it's so super stylized. It's got the exact same style as like a battle as well. So no matter what you're looking at, your eyes are like bulging. UI is unfucking real, man. I will say that the in-game models aren't as like. I'll say the in-game models and stuff aren't, and some of the textures aren't as good. But the fucking art style pops, man.
Yeah.
It pops so much to the point where I don't really fucking give a shit.
Yeah, well, that's fine. They focus more on a different area than they clearly on the in-game models.
Yeah, do you know what? The actual like 3D stuff kind of reminds me a lot of Tales of the Abyss in terms of graphic style. Where like you see things fade out, there's a lot of heavy outlines of the environment. And of course, and I'll tell you what, man. With the enemies and the enemy designs, which are wacky, by the way, I would say it's not only a combination of SMT and Persona, but also Catherine.
Yeah, it's got that kind of vibe, hasn't it?
The enemies, the big main evil enemies of the setting, are called humans. Human, but they're not like people. They're like really distorted. Like I'm talking like a Digimon kind of design where you've got you fight a fucking egg with legs.
Yeah,
with a big arrow goes through it.
Yeah.
These horrible fucked up monstrosities that have like aspects of like humans, like body parts.
That's
like,
really cool, actually.
You have like an apple with like a fucking leg hanging out of its stem and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like these really hideous monsters, and they're like, oh my god, the humans! Humans are unrepentant evil monsters. They are a threat to our society, and they must be killed. Yeah,
that's so good.
It's super on the nose, where it's kind of hilarious. But hey, the narrative kind of pops off based on Game Awards, so we'll see. But I did chuckle at a lot of the turns where it's like, I see what you're doing. Okay. But it's funny because people will read a book, like an in-game fiction book, and they'll be like, so I heard about this really cool world. It's like, it's based on like, it's nothing but metal and these big like metal monoliths like touch the sky, and there's no oppression whatsoever in this fantasy paradise world. And I'm like, ha ha ha, the twist is probably going to be like, oh, it's probably not the world that we envisioned, right?
Yeah,
because if it is our world, which it feels like it is, and also, Ben, there is a calendar system to this game.
I know, I've seen it there, that part.
Yeah.
You travel.
So you can travel, you can do side quests. I think side quests take up time with the calendar system. And there's also like a time-based system as well, where you have to explore a certain dungeon a certain amount of time, I think, as well.
Oh, okay, yeah. So
it's like, for example, in Persona 4.
Your first playthrough.
For example, in Persona 4, you know, you had to like go in and rescue someone in a time limit.
Yeah.
This is like explore a dungeon that has been like exposed, and it's like, oh, okay, you have to look before like the time goes off.
Okay, so yeah, that's how they use the calendar system then.
It seems like it's a really interesting and really cool blend of Shin Megami Tensei and Persona. It feels like a really good one as well. It feels like a mess on paper, but in execution it feels really good.
I'm curious, yeah.
It's really interesting. I really like its take as well on low-level grinding, because things just die when you hit them, which is really cool.
I mean, if you want to get like funny enough, I mean, Earthbound was the one who did that. Also, Ben, it's a tough game. It's a tough game as well. To the point that they actually implemented a system where if you really fuck up during a fight, there's actually a turn black the cock system. Oh, that's clever.
Yeah. So if you play like Fire Emblem Three Houses, where if you fuck up, you can do the time warp again. You can do the same with Metaphor as well. So if you already fuck up, or you want to like beat a really hard boss and you got unlucky, you got hit with a crit or something, you can like turn back the clock and try the fight again.
If you turn back the clock, like, will that critical hit still happen?
If you do the exact same moves,
maybe.
I think it does. Yeah. I think it does, because otherwise that would be like, you know, just rolling a dice every single time.
It's a bit weird doing it in a turn-based game, because it's like...
Yeah. I've never seen like I fucked up, go back mechanic and do it in a turn-based game. But it's there, so take that as you will.
Yeah.
But no, I've been having a lot of fun with ReFantazio, man. It's been a great game. I can't believe I've not played it yet, but I played the demo, and it's a 10-hour demo, man. It's insane. You can explore like half of the main dungeon. The game's like, okay, you've gone too far now. I think it's time that you stop and play the main game.
Oh, wow, that's funny. Yeah.
But you can still do like calendar stuff. I think the demo gives you 10 days to do whatever.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
After like the 8-hour prologue.
Oh man, that's long demo.
Yeah, it's mental. I really want to play it. And also, we got to talk about the music.
Yeah.
So the music is based off
a clip of it and stuff, and
a real language. It's a rapping monk, but it's a real language. Just when I thought fucking Kozuka went off with his music and SMT5 engine, suddenly Meguro brings in the monk. And it needs to be heard.
Yeah,
I need
to listen to it properly, actually,
If I will say that if Persona Rebirth wasn't nominated for best soundtrack, Fantazio probably would have taken it, to be honest.
Yeah, can't beat nostalgia though, can you?
It's really good. It's really good. Yeah, I really want to play more of this game. It's a really interesting Atlus take, and it feels like a love letter to Atlus fans, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like there's a class called Persona User and Devil Summoner.
That's hilarious.
And Soul Hacker.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah.
Oh.
Oh well, I guess we'll wait and see.
And so Atlus have been popping off this year, and ReFantazio deserves all those nominations. Yeah, get excited. You should definitely give it a go, man. It's incredible. I definitely need to play and buy the whole game. Right, and what else I've been playing? Oh yeah, that's right. So so the last Sonic game I played, I think, was Sonic Unleashed.
Yeah,
didn't like that game.
No.
I didn't like it. No. Well, I liked the Sonic parts where you actually go faster. Yeah, but I hated the Werehog stages.
Yeah.
Coming from someone who is very much into his character action games. they very much felt like a neutered, very sloppy, wet dick slap to the face for people into that, because they definitely are in a character action game developers. Absolutely not. I've been playing Sonic X Shadow Generations.
Yeah, I saw you playing that on Steam.
Yeah, so a friend gifted it to me.
Oh, nice.
As a congrats for moving in, which was quite nice. So I was like, oh, okay.
Very nice.
So I gave it a go.
Yeah.
And I'm having fun doing a Sonic game.
Yeah. It's apparently really good.
So to elaborate for people listening right now, I am not a quote-unquote big fan of Sonic. Just to prove this, I actually played the Sonic side of Sonic Generations first, and I know that Sonic Generations is a pretty loved 3D Sonic game, right?
Yeah.
I was very mixed on it, funny enough. I was very mixed on it. I like the 3D sections, I think they're pretty cool. I like the nostalgic, like, you know, obviously it's for like nostalgia, because you go back to levels of Sonic Adventure, Sonic Heroes, and of course Sonic 1, 2, and 3, and you go to Angel Island and the factory and all that shit.
Yeah.
I didn't mind like the classic Sonic bits too. I thought they were pretty fine 2D, but I fucking despised the modern Sonic 2D ones. I hated them.
Oh yeah. They were just felt like a low point of the game.
Yeah, I just didn't feel like I had as much control, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I found myself playing as classic Sonic 1 3D Sonic for the 2D sections, and for 3D sections I would play as just normal Sonic. Yeah. But I hated the colours levels.
Yeah.
I feel like it was being too innovative for its own good, and like it took me like 20 minutes to complete one stage. Maybe it was a skill issue, but I just didn't vibe with like the Sonic section of Sonic Generations at all.
Fair enough.
And I thought the last boss really sucked as well, which is a shame because most of the boss fights were pretty cool.
Yeah.
In Sonic Generations.
Yeah.
I played Shadow Generations. Oh my god. It controls so much better. It's like night and day.
It's a different game, isn't it? Though?
It's a different game.
Different engine.
It feels it's completely different. Isn't it the same engine as Frontiers? I think it is.
It's using a different engine.
The fact that you have a double jump in that
crazy.
game, just honestly, it does so much for the platforming.
Yeah.
In Shadow Generations, the controls are more tighter. It feels like when I'm running it, I have more control. The stage design is really good as well. Like it feels like it just feels like you know when to take a route for a stage and when not to, and there are like so many routes too. It's like, oh cool, they're like the replayability is really cool as well. Like if you miss like a token that gives you like extra artwork and extra like soundtracks and stuff like that, it feels like you can really easily just keep on going through the level and then just replay it, because stages are like 5 minutes tops. And it feels good as well. It feels satisfying as well.
These stages are 5 minutes?
Yeah,
that's long
so the
for
way
a
it
Sonic
works,
game.
So with Shadow, right, you do a stage, and then you go out into like the hub, and it's the same as like the Sonic one, except this one's fully 3D. It feels like it's a sandbox, so you can fully explore it. You can fully like go around and do like things where you get rings in time trials. You can like explore it and bounce off springs and solve little puzzles and like go
like
through
Sonic
rings.
Frontiers.
Yeah, I've not played Sonic Frontiers, but that's the
I've not played that either, but I've seen like
the
hub, like the way it works in the hub.
And you get abilities, so you get Doom abilities. So Black Doom is back from our favourite Sonic game, Shadow the Hedgehog. And so you get things like you get Doom Wings, you get Chaos Spears. Chaos Control is really well implemented in this game. So what I love about this game compared to other Sonic games is that the abilities are really well implemented.
Oh, that's cool.
So like for example, you'll be on the Ark and there'll be missiles shot at you, like loads of missiles, but you use Chaos Control and you freeze the missiles, you jump on the missiles, you use them as stairs, and that's how you get to like top parts of the stage, and you get secrets and stuff. And of course Chaos Spears are like attacks that stun enemies that might have like spikes, so you can like use them for homing attacks to like get up to certain parts of stages. You can activate switches as well. It gets really dynamic as well during some 2D stages where like you'll go into 3D and then the camera goes in 2D, but then it'll angle a little bit. So it's like a diagonal kind of approach, and it's like a really like cool camera angle where I don't know, it just feels like I'm always control. And that is the biggest compliment I can give to a Sonic game.
You're always in control.
whenever I play like a modern Sonic games, it always felt like I wasn't like fully in control, and besides like Sonic Adventure, like it felt like I kind of like had a bit more control of my character, but the controls are so tight in this game, and it just feels really good at doing the abilities and doing the homing attack, and like, you know, there are sections of the stage where you can like use the Doom boat, I call it, where you can like fucking sail on a river, and like you can sidestep and go through rings and stuff, and yeah, it's a really fun experience, and the story is actually like I mean, Shadow's story is like there's a lot of lore to it, right? You know, you've got like Gerald and like Maria and shit like that.
Yeah.
So like you can get like journal pieces that kind of tie all together.
Nice.
And like it's Gerald's journal, it's from his POV, and it kind of ties things together. Like it has like the robot from Sonic Battle, it has like lore and that thing, and it kind of ties it into like how he makes the ultimate life form, and how like artificial chaos came to be, and it goes into his family as well, like the Eggman family and stuff. Because I think Dr. Eggman's his nephew, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it's
It goes into that as well, and how like and how Maria has like this incurable illness, and they go to the Ark, and it also goes into like the forgetful gun commander in Shadow the Hedgehog, and how he's like part of the lore too.
Wow, goes deep,
and how
the lore. That's
and how like Black Doom is like Shadow's dad, quote unquote, and stuff like that.
Yeah, man.
And how he survives the events of his game, and how like the Time Eater is making a Black Doom. And sorry, I love that name for a Sonic character. Makes me chuckle every time.
Yeah, that sounds really
dark
cool,
it is.
man. I definitely want to play it at some point.
Shadow is back, man.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. This feels like it feels, but it's good edge, man.
Yeah.
There's for a cartoon hedgehog, there's like legit good drama in it as well.
Have you watched
like
the little?
It's actually cool.
Did you watch the thing before this came out?
No, I haven't. I need to watch that. The animations.
It was quite funny. Yeah, it was quite.
Yeah,
good.
I need to watch it because it ties into Shadow Generations, right?
It's only about
I need to watch it. Apparently, the fight scenes really pop off. They're like Dragon Ball like style fights, right?
Yeah, really good. Yeah.
Oh man, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch it because honestly, Shadow Generations has kind of reignited my like for old Sonic games, old 3D Sonic games too.
Yeah.
Because they got it right. Because I was really turned off after Unleashed, and when I heard about the other games after that, and how like people just, you know, people always say there's not been a lot of good modern Sonic games out there, and I kind of like fell off it myself.
Yeah.
Like
I played
Adventure 1, I played Adventure 2, I played Heroes, I played Shadow. I did not play Sonic 06. And I played Unleashed, and I was like tapped out after that.
I've still not played Frontiers. I heard that's quite good as well. So.
And I wasn't actually the biggest fan of Sonic Generations. But I can't give it too much stick because obviously it's a remaster of an old game technically.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't really gel with it, to be honest, but I adored the Shadow Generation stuff. That just felt like a platformer that I could easily just boot up and just play for a little bit.
Nice. That's a good compliment for Sonic.
Yeah, and I love how the abilities are implemented as well. It's got interesting stages as well. I won't spoil them all in case you play, because obviously it's a nostalgia trip.
Yeah.
And the bosses are really good. Well, they fucking go in with the bosses, man.
Nice.
And then they bring back absolutely. Yeah, they bring back remixes of really good boss themes as well, because the Sonic music's always been good, right?
Yeah.
They have some really good remixes for levels too. There's some surprising levels too as well, which a lot of recency too, which is kind of like a nice surprise that they bring into like the nostalgic levels for like a Sonic game. It's really cool. You run around the main world. It feels good to do that as well with your new Doom abilities.
Yeah.
Like you use your wings and you find treasure chests that give you extra things in the gallery. The bike is back. The bike is like, you kind of sit on the bike and you kind of look through the gallery with it. It's got the same Shadow the Hedgehog logo in it too, which is pretty fun.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's a really cool homage to Shadow.
Yeah.
They gave Shadow his edge back.
He's got his edge back.
but it's actually cool. It's not like overly over the top. It feels like Shadow is like a person and a character. He actually feels like a super traumatized person. So just like, no one tells me what to do.
He feels like an actual character. Yeah. Not
he's doing things for a reason.
Not like a one-note character. Like an actual character. Like,
he feels like an actual traumatized person who's trying to like get over it and overcome it.
That's
cool. For like a funny, it's still hilarious that it's like a black cartoon hedgehog to me in concept, but they put it off and I'm all for it. It's got to it's kind of got to the point now where you're a kid and you're like, oh man, this is so fucking cool, man. Like shows like driving a car and like mowing down people and like fucking piece of shit Sonic. Oh my god. I mean, you get to like when you get older and you're like, oh my god, this is like the lamest like fucking like edgelord shit I've ever seen.
Again.
If we can't got back round to the bit where it's like, a cartoon hedgehog gets like fucking the power of these jewels that aren't even real emeralds and kills God.
Yeah.
And now I'm like all for it. I'm like, I'm like, why the fuck not? Make our cartoon hedgehogs attack and dethrone God. Turn them into Super Saiyans and make them fight a Time Lord. Do it. Why not? Why not? It sounds like fun. Why not? And I had fun with the game, dude. It's good.
Gotta get on
that's high praise from someone who isn't even a Sonic fan. So, give, for the love of fucking Christ, give Sonic a double jump in all the other games, please. I beg of you, Sega.
Have a double jump?
It does so much for the platforming.
Maybe
it does so much for the platforming.
Maybe they will.
Please give him a double jump in every single game, I beg of you.
Alright.
What else have I been playing? Oh, Ben!
We're running out of time, mate.
Man.
I'm just letting you know.
Oh shit, okay, I'll be brief with this one. I played Overwatch 3 with Marvel skins. Play Marvel Rivals!
Yes, I heard about Marvel Rivals.
The free-to-play game that is most definitely taking inspiration from Overwatch. It's definitely not carbon copying all of the HUD and all of the hero abilities and all of the everything.
But it's old Overwatch, right? It's not like the new Overwatch. It's like the old Overwatch it's taken the inspiration from.
I would say 80% of it is Overwatch. Yeah. I'm not gonna mince words. 80%. This is coming from someone. This is coming from someone who played Overwatch 1 for years, by the way.
Yeah.
So from like the HP. To the icons when you kill people. It is straight Overwatch. Ooh. But it is good Overwatch.
Yeah.
It is actually good, kind of fun, addictive Overwatch. And it's actually got good business practices. Ooh. I know. Big fucking shocker. Can't believe it. Oh. So before I go into the gameplay, the way it works is that there is a battle pass and you can obviously upgrade it into a quote-unquote luxury pass. Yeah. But mate, basically all it does is that it lets you get things faster.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, that's a bit like how Thingy worked though, right?
Yeah, so the way it is that you have dailies, but you get them just by playing. You get currency that lets you unlock the actual in-game currency for like passes and stuff.
Yeah.
But the costumes are always constantly in the shop.
Yeah.
Which means that if you work for it, you will always get that costume that you want. You don't have to like get the battle pass for it.
That's cool.
It just means
it's not you can like the battle pass. That's good.
No, it's not. So you can do free to play.
Yeah.
And you can just play the game a bunch and then eventually get that costume, which is really cool.
They're just relying on the whales then for people who really want to get the costumes early.
Yeah, that play the game and really like it. I want to get some costumes faster and stuff. They want their sprays, they want their emotes.
Hopefully they keep this kind of like, economy and not like get greedy.
So the FOMO is gone because it means that the costumes I think will always be there, which is great.
Yeah.
Which is always good for like a game to have, especially a battle pass one.
Yeah.
Speaking of the costumes, have you seen the designs, the character designs?
Yeah, some of them are like really strange picks. Like they're really.
Some of them are really over designed. Some are really good though. Like Storm looks fucking incredible. Psylocke has a really cool, like, ninja-esque kind of like design. Spider-Man is just Spider-Man, which is really funny. Venom has got cake for fucking days. 4 looks really cool.
Yeah.
There are some really funny picks as well, like really obscure picks as well. Like you can play as Cloak and Dagger.
Yeah.
Luna Snow is a new character. Magique is a really obscure X-Men, but she was playable in Midnight Suns as well. And she's like a melee, like sword-based character. Yeah, a lot of the characters take a lot from the characters in Overwatch, though, I would admit.
Yeah.
So like Psylocke, for example, has like a Genji dash, but she has a Sombra invisibility mode as well. So a lot of them are like a big blend between some of the Overwatch characters. So for example, the Punisher is Soldier 76. And he's got a rifle, he can shoot but he's also got a Bastion turret.
Yeah.
So he can also set up shop and like do like choke points and stuff like that and keep that stuff down.
When you think about it though, like Overwatch is based on superheroes, and like,
but now you've got an actual superheroes doing superhero stuff.
Yeah. So
and you can't really argue with that really because it's superheroes in the superhero genre.
Yeah, exactly.
But don't get me wrong though, it is an absolute rip Overwatch.
Yeah, I can tell like, by the gameplay.
There's taking inspiration and then there's just taking it. I'm like, I've got to say, as someone who's played Overwatch, it is absolutely copying Overwatch. It's unapologetic.
It doesn't really have its own identity.
It doesn't even it does have its own identity though. That's the thing. The thing is though, is that it's not even bothering to like hide from the fact that it is absolutely ripping shit from Overwatch, but it's a fucking way better version of Overwatch, and if it's better, then guess what people are going to move on to?
Yeah.
It feels way more stylized as well. Like, it actually looks incredible. If you watch for trailers, they are fucking mind-blowing. Like, it's some of the best... I shit you long, it's some of the best looking animation I've actually ever seen for a video game trailer.
What?
I'm telling you now. Do you remember the old Marvel vs. Capcom trailers?
Yeah.
And how fucking cool they were?
Yeah.
They're on the vein of that. Like, the character trailers and the CGI trailers are so good. And the events going on right now is that Dr. Doom has kind of taken over the multiverse. So when you go into certain stages, like the like Shibuya, which is which I think is the Spider-Man-esque like level. You see like loads of images like Doctor Doom and stuff.
Oh, that's clever. They like.
And also Doom 2099 as well.
Oh,
they've got different versions of Doom and stuff. It's a multiverse plot, but it makes sense in the context of this game because it's how you get like it's how you get your seasons and stuff like that. You can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah.
But like Overwatch, it does come with a few caveats, just like that game too. So for example, you're always gonna get like, because it's a hero shooter as well, you're never really gonna get your griefers, your people who are always gonna want to play DPS and not tanks and healers. People go, my TV shit, even though they're the ones that like held it back, that kind of stuff. But the networking is insane. Like, you are barely waiting for a match, both in competitive and both in quick match. It just, I've had absolutely zero network problems at all.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just press X for a quick match and you're in a match immediately, kind of thing, which is really cool. It's got your game modes like, you know, guide the payload, protect this spot, you know, it's got all that, like, you know, similar Overwatch that's always been there. You know, capture this point. I mean, like I said, it's just, you know, it's a carbon copy of Overwatch with Marvel skins pretty much. But no, it's cool. The picks are really cool. The characters play really cool too. You've got your disruptors, you've got your gun shooting McPow-Pows. There's some really cool abilities as well. Like Doctor Strange can basically make a portal. So you can make a portal like at the choke point, and then you can make it at the spawn point. You can have people like spawning, but the enemies can also use it too. So like you have enemies firing ults through a bad portal and just like absolutely trapping your team at the checkpoint.
Oh man.
Iron Fist is a fucking menace. There are some characters that are definitely more powerful than others. So it's like, you can either go Spider-Man and just like struggle to like take out the Iron Man who's flying about Pharaoh style. Or you can just play as Iron Fist and just like fucking Goku your way up to the Iron Man and just punch him in the face and just like, why is the grounded character suddenly like doing like 10 hit combos on me, on my flying character?
Oh, that's funny.
There's Jeff the Land Shark, who has been lauded on Twitter as the most cancerous character already, which I think is hilarious because Jeff the Land Shark is just a cute little pet shark. But what he can do is that he's a healer, but he can also eat an entire team, including your team, and he can literally suicide with an entire team in his mouth.
What? That's mad. That's crazy. So yeah, it's more for fun than it is for balance, I'd say.
But it's super fun though, and it is balanced as well because like a lot of people that I've been in with matches have actually been like team players. Like they've actually tried to like if there's like too many like DPS, some have actually switched to tank and some have actually switched to supports and stuff.
So it's got a good community then.
So far it does, it hasn't got to the point. I mean, I've had some games where people are like trickling and like going one by one and get melted immediately to a whole team, but I've had a lot of people for the most part that actually like stop and wait for the team and then just go into it at once, which is how you're supposed to do it. It feels like, it feels more balanced Overwatch, and it feels like more chaotic Overwatch at the same time. It's fun and it's free as well, so absolutely give it a go if you want to try it out. It's pretty cool seeing how it's actually, I know it's ripping off a lot of characters, but it's kind of fun how it implements the abilities of existing Overwatch characters and puts it into like the identity of a Marvel superhero and mixes them together. So, for example, Magneto has Reinhardt's shield. So, like, obviously, he's like the guy who stops bullets and magnets, so it makes sense to give him like a big force field shield and to give other people shield. And then you give him like Zarya's ability where he gives people shields as well. It just makes sense for the character, right? It's really cool. I like it a lot.
Oh man, that sounds like a good time. Maybe I'll check it out then at some point when I get some free time.
Get some matches out. I've got my roommate into it as well, so come join us for sessions, dude. Definitely.
When I can. Maybe in the next year when it's a bit more quieter.
Yeah, go for it. Why not, mate? It's been like 2 hours. You gotta go, right?
Yep. I gotta go.
Oh man, we've really destroyed the podcast.
We've really disjointed it, but hey, we'll
it's Christmas and Ben's got no annual leave.
We'll get to. Do you know what? I might put out another. I'll put out another questionnaire and we can combine them both and make a massive long one.
Yeah, why not? We'll top off with a big one, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll finally be fully caught up, and then next year when you get your better rota, it will be back to our regularly scheduled podcasts. Yeah, we're getting there now. We're adjusting to our moves, adjusting to our new jobs. We're doing well though. We're getting there. We'll get there, Ben. Don't worry.
Okay. All right. Take care. Take care, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you for watching.